You know the fastest way to embarrass yourself in a war? Announce you captured a city, then discover your troops cannot even drive within 20 to 25 kilometers of it without getting hit by drones. That is basically the Kupiansk story right now. Russia's big mistake was not only pushing forward. It was pushing forward like it is still 2022, while Ukraine fights like it is 2026. Robots in the air, robots on the ground, a drone wall that turns roads into traps and movement into a countdown. So what is happening around Kupiansk? Why Russia keeps stalling? And why this robotic kill zone might shape the next phase of the war. Let's break it down. Kupiansk sits in Ukraine's Kharkiv region, and it matters for one simple reason: logistics. It is a railway hub and a key node for moving people, ammo, fuel, and everything else armies need to keep going. That is why it keeps showing up in headlines and briefings. Back in late November 2025, Russia claimed it had taken Kupiansk. Ukraine immediately denied it. Then in mid-December, Ukraine's top commander said Ukrainian forces had pushed Russians back and regained control of almost 90% of the town. Russia denied that too, and independent verification stays difficult because, yeah, it is a live war zone, not a football match with instant replay. Now here is the part that changes everything. Even if Russia wants Kupiansk, it has to move to take it, reinforce it, supply it, and hold it. And Ukraine's entire plan near Kupiansk is to remove that ability. So, how do you delete an enemy's movement without having endless manpower of your own? You build a kill zone made of robots. What Ukraine built near Kupiansk. A Ukrainian report described a robotic kill zone near Kupiansk set up by a unit referred to as Orion. The claim is brutal and simple. Drones and unmanned systems hit Russian forces so consistently that up to 88% get stopped before reaching intended positions. The same reporting says the system aims to disrupt infantry movement within roughly 1 kilometer of the front. Block vehicle used much deeper, around 20 to 25 kilometers out. If that sounds like a drone wall, that is basically the idea. Not one magic drone, but a layered system that makes movement expensive, slow, and risky. And when Russia cannot move freely, Russia cannot do the thing it relies on most: pressure through numbers. Rhetorical question number 1. How do you assault the position if every approach route becomes a drone shooting gallery? The drone wall recipe. When people hear kill zone, they picture a single weapon. But the modern version works more like a workflow. Step A, find. Recon drone scout. They spot heat, movement, tracks, vehicles, small groups crossing open ground. Step B, fix. Operators track the target and keep eyes on it, so it cannot simply slip away. Step C, finish. FPV drone strike, sometimes repeatedly, often coordinated with other fire support. The reporting on Kupiansk mentions a mix of systems, including reconnaissance drones, FPVs, and common quadcopters used for spotting and targeting. And here is the scary part for any force trying to push forward. It is not one drone you have to worry about. The reporting describes multiple FPVs stacking onto a single target. So even if you beat the first one, you are not safe. You are simply on round 2. A quick story, because this part gets real. One story floating in Ukrainian reporting describes a Russian soldier tasked with guiding groups through these drone-heavy zones. The guides make it. The groups often do not. Eventually, the guide surrenders. That is not movie drama. That is what happens when a battlefield becomes a sensor network. And honestly, it reminds me of a totally different kind of pressure. That is Kupiansk in a weird way. Russia can throw bodies and metal at the front, but Ukraine built a system that punishes movement itself. And if your system breaks, your assault breaks. This is not only Kupiansk. Zoom out and you see a broader trend. Major outlets have described how drones turned large stretches of the front into what soldiers call kill zones, sometimes extending many kilometers behind the immediate line of contact. Reuters described drone saturation, creating a dangerous band where reconnaissance and strike drones shape how both sides move and fight. The AP reported similar dynamics and stressed how drone presence makes basic battlefield tasks harder, like moving supplies or evacuating casualties, because open movement gets noticed fast. So Kupiansk is not a sci-fi exception. It is a concentrated example of where the war has been heading. Also worth noting, Ukrainian reporting described kill zone-style tactics across multiple hot sectors, not only Kupiansk, including areas around Pokrovsk and Dobropilya. Rhetorical question number 2. If drones make a 20-kilometer danger belt, what happens to old-school tactics built on mass movement? How Russia tries to adapt. Russia has not stood still. It adapts too. One pattern reported in broader coverage: more small unit infiltration instead of big armored pushes, because large formations draw attention fast in a drone-dominated environment. We have also seen reporting about improvised vehicle tactics in other sectors, with smaller, faster, less predictable movement. But here is the catch: smaller groups can slip through sometimes. Yet small groups also struggle to hold ground without support. You cannot win a city with a handful of exhausted troops hiding in basements and hoping logistics magically appear. And Ukraine's whole point is to make logistics not appear. Can Ukraine scale the robot wall? Scaling is the big question. Ukraine has been pushing drone production hard. In late December 2025, Ukraine's defense minister said the armed forces were on track to receive around 3 million FPV drones in 2025, and also noted growth in ground robotic systems delivery. Then in January 2026, Ukraine appointed Mikhailo Fedorov as defense minister, with public messaging focused on tech-driven modernization, drones, and data-based battlefield management. Reuters also reported Fedorov pushing a data-driven overhaul, including mission control-style systems for drones and artillery, plus initiatives to share wartime combat data with allies to help train AI. And yes, there is also a practical detail. Ukraine wants to reduce reliance on widely used Chinese-made DJI Mavic drones by developing local alternatives with similar camera capability and improved range, according to reporting around Fedorov's early statements. So if you are asking, is Ukraine actually trying to build more Kupiansks? The answer looks like, yes, that is the direction. Kupiansk matters, but the bigger story is the method. Ukraine is trying to turn the battlefield into a place where Russia's main advantage, mass, does not translate into momentum. A robot wall does not need perfect victory speeches. It needs consistency, eyes in the sky, quick targeting, steady supply, trained operators, and a system that keeps working even when everything else feels chaotic. And honestly, there is a weird self-improvement lesson in that. Do not declare victory early. Do not confuse hype with progress. Build systems that make the right moves easier every day, because results follow systems, not vibes. If you want more breakdowns like this, clear, research-based, and actually useful, subscribe. And tell me in the comments, do you think drone walls become the new default defense, or does the next counterattack flip the board again?